listening to you there. You said an interesting thing there, Beau. You believe in investing back into new chiropractors. You do a lot of things at the schools, and you said even to the extent of people who aren't going to come and work for you anyway. Where does that come from? Where does that need or that want or that belief that reinvesting into new people is so important for you?
I guess a lot of, in my profession, a lot of people will they just go into their own office and they sort of hunker down and do their own thing. And I think that leads to fairly limited results. And it's really satisfying and gratifying to see, people coming through, learning how to do what I do, and become confident to be able to reproduce the results that we get. So it's because what you learn at uni is, this much, and then there's a whole lot more out there beyond what the basic study is.
And when you're selecting people, and you select a gentleman to come and work with you, and you had that opportunity to observe him through uni, were you purely observing his skills and going, he's got really skills, or were you saying, does his values match my values, and did he have the same internal drive as what you? What do you use your criteria for selecting somebody like that?
Yeah, it's definitely technical interest in doing things technically and technical skill, because there is a difficulty to what we do. So it's not something that just anyone can do. It's anyone that's really driven and diligent and wants to put in the effort can do it. But you can't teach a personality. You can't change who someone is. So we do. All the guys on my team are really great people, and that's something that you can't train.
John, you're hearing that yourself. I see you nodding there. And we've talked about values before, and obviously it's a big drive for you. Do you believe the value has to already be in the person, or do you believe that if they join your company, you can change the inner values? What's your opinion on it? A little question for
I had that yesterday, talking to a client about their hope and dream for people that they put into their business, that they will actually become the person they would like them to become. And so what I said to him is, right now you're superimposing your behaviour on him or her. And what we've got to work on is helping you understand their behaviour so you can draw that out. And so he's really driven. He does the macro and the micro. He runs everything, typical with what Beau was saying earlier, that he does everything and he's disempowered his team. So we're going to change that. He already knows there's one person he should fire, but he can't yet, because there's too many emotional attachments, because he won't ever reach what he knows, because it's just not in him. And oftentimes we know that in business, but we're afraid to actually confront it, that they really don't have the values, they don't have the ethic, or they don't have the work commitment, or there's lots of that. We know it, we just struggle at times to actually own it and deal with it. We all live in hope, we run away from confrontation, and yet those things are really quite powerful to do. And not everybody has the same values as us, and we have to understand that and let people have theirs. It's not wrong, and we're not right. It's just different. Sometimes it works, and we can understand that. My wife is different from me, and it works. We can have that in our workplace, but yeah, we know it, and we need to own it, and we need to deal with it. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned something I thought was really interesting. You used the words business trap when you're having the conversation with John, and it was, I'm the only one that can do it, and therefore it needs to get done, I'm the one who has to do it. Do you find that the way you select and train your staff has allowed you to step out of that trap? And if a business owner now is looking at you and saying, how the heck did you do it? Because I'm just doing everything, and the guys are going home on the weekends, and I'm the Saturday and Sunday. What would you be saying to a business owner in that position?
Yeah, I think it's about letting, you have to let go a little bit. If you want to choose the brand of coffee, you know, then and the cups that it goes in, and you know the biros that you're using, then you've got to go to the shops and get it yourself, you know. And so if you can step back and say, all right, we need coffee cups, we need coffee, we need pens, and you can set the parameters and then let other people fill in the blanks, and then, okay, that one was bad, don't get that again. You know, you can kind of work through it without having to do the actual task yourself, you know. And so it's trusting your staff to be able to make mistakes and learn from it, rather than expecting, you know, perfection out of everything. You know, to micromanaging is probably the biggest trap.
Yeah.
It's interesting you mentioned perfection then, and I understand you've been in business for 11 years plus now, and I'm wondering, when you look back at when you first started, did you cringe and go, oh my goodness, or you just gone, it's a journey, it evolves, it morphs into what it is more, and you've enjoyed the process?
Yeah,
What's
absolutely.
it been like?
Yeah, no, it's an incremental thing, you know. Like, I started in practice, we didn't even have an FPOS machine. I was doing paper notes, so I didn't have a receptionist, you know. So, but I had the target of, I want to get busy enough that I can, you know, get a proper office. I can have a receptionist helping me. I can have, you know, an FPOS machine and a computer, you know. So it's not being okay with, when you're starting out, things not being perfect right from the word go, and scaling up as you can afford it. Because a lot of people say, all right, well, unless it's exactly my dream practice, then I'm not going to do it until I can get to that point. That's fine, but it might not be until you know, been going for 50 years, you know, or maybe not 50 years, but at least 10 years, you know, and a whole heap of debt too, you know. It's if you want everything in the opens and shuts right from the word go,
Yep.
you got to go to the bank, and the bank won't give you the money because you got no track record. So that means you go into the bank of mum and dad, or, you know, family and friends, and it's you know, it's a time and a place, and as it's viable, that's when you spend the money to expand things, and, you know, making it an organic type of growth as well is important.
Yes.
It's interesting you say that, and I know you talk about this, John, but when you strike business owners and they're after perfection from day one, or they want it perfect, how do you coach them through that to go, hey, it's okay not to be perfect as long as you're on the right path? How do you guide them?
Well, if I'm in the room, I think that's fundamentally half the way, because they know I'm going to confront their issues, and I'm going to challenge them about that. And I find that if people are being coached, they really are starting to address the issues that, I've got some of this stuff wrong, I know that inside me, but help me get it out. Help me change the way I've been going about doing it. And, you know, the context of being much more organic rather than, you know, my frog and bike illustration. You know, if we create businesses that are a lot more organic than rather than just building systems only, it really is really quite powerful. So I think having a coach, you're halfway there, and then let's work on those concepts and let's make it a lot more relaxed. I use the language, let's fail forward. You know, what Beau was talking about, you know, having an environment where you can make mistakes and it's okay, is just great. Helping change mindsets like that and feeling comfortable, it really is good, because when you look back, you made a lot of mistakes, you know, and you don't want to own them, but yeah, I have. Okay, let's just do better, a little bit tweaker. Let's be happier in that space. Let's rejoice not only in the good things, and, you know, you get a new contract, it's great, but when we make mistakes, opportunities to learn. And we know the power of failure is our best learning environment, and I find that really, really helpful.
I think the saying I like to use is, it's about progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
You know, it's as long as you're doing things a little bit better than what you did last week and last year and last month, as long as there's that incremental progress, then eventually you're going to get to perfection. But once you get there, there's still going to be something better to do. You know?
But it's almost a maturity, isn't it? And you can look in the mirror and say, yeah, I've got most things fairly well, and I'm in a place of learning. And that's so much healthier than when I was just a young bull, you know, crashing through everything. I've learned just to be a little bit more tempered. And it's just a great environment because you will learn so much more.
So someone watching, Beau, How does someone select or know they're going to a good chiropractor?
I think it's the, number one, it's the results that they're getting, you know, if they're getting improvement and seeing change over a period of time, you know, over a period of months. It's not just a magic quick fix, one adjustment and you're cured. You know, that you're getting sustained change, that's number one. And empathy, you know, having someone that actually really listens and gets you, you know, I think that's really an important thing, because if they, you know, if you're just a number and it's, you know, next, in you come sort of thing, versus, you know, really having a connection with someone and, you know, they get me and they understand what my drivers are and where I want to get to, you know, what it is. You know, it's not the pain that's the problem, it's the effect that the pain is having on my life, you know. So it's not about the crook lower back, it's the fact that, you know, that means that I can't swing a golf club, or it means I can't go to my job, or I can't do my work as effectively as I'd like to, or pick up my grandkids. That's the rub, not the pain itself. Because if there's plenty of people that get around with all sorts of aches and pains, and it's not until it starts affecting their life that people make the step to actually do something about it.
And what's the best way of contacting yourself, Bob?
Our website's perthchiro.com.au. So yeah, just checking out our website and you know, or flicking us an email or following our Facebook page.
Fantastic.
Great.
John, someone listening going, I need a coach in my room. How do they contact you?
My website, peakconsultancy.com.au, there's a contact form. Just fill that in and I'll be in touch with you, and that'll be just a real delight.